Hey guys, welcome back. I had a question on The Stranger by Aldo Colombini down in the comments about how do you cut to the card when you put the cards on top, which essentially was a question about how do you control the selection to the eighth position from the top. And I kind of just made the assumption that everybody watching knows about the reverse breather, but then I realized, you know what, I got some new people coming over to the channel. So I thought, let's do a breakdown on what really is probably Card Magic's greatest utility device, and that is the reverse breather card. Okay, so I always keep one in my deck. Anytime I open up a new pack of cards, I always put the reverse breather in the 9 of clubs. Okay, and I do that for me because when I'm doing memorized deck stack work, the 52nd card in the stack I use is the 9 of clubs. So if I have a crimp in the 9 of clubs, and it allows me to cut to it wherever the 9 is at, so I can very easily just cut right to the 9 of clubs, and it would put my stack back into 1 to 52 order. So that's why I use the 9 of clubs. The way you make this crimped card is you take your index finger and your middle finger and put it under the card with the thumb on top. You're going to squeeze and pinch down in the middle and just drag that out to each of the 4 corners, from the middle out to the 4 corners. So you're going to create this X that goes through the playing card. Okay, you can't really see it on the camera, but there is an X that goes through it. It's hard to see. If you know what you're looking for, you can find it. But this is a reverse breather crimp, so it will cut to the bottom of the deck. So if that's in the middle of the deck, I can now cut to that breather, and it's going to go right to the bottom. All right, so you can use this to control cards to the top of the deck. All right, if I were to put this breather card in with the card face up, then when I cut to it, it's going to cut that breather to the top of the deck. That's the original breather card that Vernon talked about. But this is the reverse breather with the card upside down. So it's a bottom cutting breather, okay? So the basic form, the basic use of this would be like, you have a card selected, it's the 9 of hearts, it goes back in the pack. If I put the breather on top, I can show that I'm not holding a break. I can then cut to my breather card, and it's going to control their selection, the 9 of hearts, to the top of the deck, okay? You can also do this with the Charlier cut very easily. So the card goes in. There's my breather. It's going right on top of the selection. If I Charlier cut, it automatically Charliers right at the breather card because it's crimped. So I can Charlier cut their selection right to the top very, very easily, okay? Now, you can also use a breather in conjunction with a riffle shuffle. So let's say we've got cards on the table, and I say you can have any card on the table or any card in my hand. Let's say they take this card as the selection. It's the 5 of spades, okay? I'm going to say go ahead and put your card back. Now, as I do this, I want to get my breather on top of their selection. So I'm going to kick cut half the cards as I gesture to their card, say go ahead and put your card back, and I'm going to hold a little finger break right above my breather. So their card goes back. Now I'm going to spread over and take everything above the break, which includes the breather, as I just drop cards on top. So now it looks very messy. Their card looks lost into the pack, but now if I cut to the breather, their card is now here, the 5 of spades, and now I can riffle shuffle, dropping their card last so it's on top, and I can show I have a shuffled pack of cards, and then little do they know you've controlled it to the top of the deck because of your breather card that you cut to, okay? So, there's a few ways you can use it to control a card. Another thing you could do with it is you could use it to produce, say, the 4 aces. Say you want to do a cutting to the aces routine. All right, so I'll take out the 4 aces. We'll put the 4 aces on top of the deck. Breather card is on the bottom. You could say to a spectator, go ahead and cut the cards. They're going to give the cards a cut, and let's see what we cut to. You cut to a 4 diamonds. Let's say we're playing cutting to a high card. Let's see if I can beat the 4 diamonds. So now if I just cut to my crimped card, the 9 of clubs, that reverse breather, I can now cut directly to an ace. Okay, and all the aces are there, right there on top. And you might say, go ahead and let's play again. Go ahead and cut wherever you want. Let's see. They cut to a 6. Well, let's see if I can beat that. I cut to the breather, and I cut to an ace. Try it again. Cut wherever you want. Let's see what you cut to. An 8. I come over, I cut to the breather, and I cut to another ace. Have them cut one more time. They can cut wherever they want. They cut to the 5 of clubs. You now cut to the breather card, and now you've got all 4 aces. So you can use it as an ace production, okay? I'm going to show you a bunch of different ideas with this that it's just, you can see the utility device that it is. It's really like a super card, okay? Another thing, let's say you want to control a selection to third from the top, okay? Let's say this selection's the ace of hearts. You want to get it third from the top, and you want to do it in a self-working way. Let's put 2 cards below the breather. And why would you control it to third from the top? Maybe you want to do Jim Steinmeier's 9-card problem, right? It's a lie detector effect. We're going to have their selection. You've got 2 indifferent cards below the breather, right? So now as the card gets returned to the pack, you're going to place the breather and those 2 selections right on top of it. You can show there's no breaks. You don't have your fingers in the deck. And once you cut to the breather card, you've now placed those 2 indifferent cards right on top of the ace of hearts. So now you can say, I'm going to take just a few cards. So the Jim Steinmeier trick uses 9 cards. Just push over 3, 3, and 3, and say, we're just going to use a small packet. And now you're in position to do that lie detector trick, where their selected card is in the 3rd position. Okay, so you might say, what was the value of your card? And they say it's a 4. They can lie or tell the truth, right? So you spell 4, F-O-U-R, of, O-F, and what was the suit? Let's say they say clubs, C-L-U-B-S. Did you lie or tell the truth? They say they lied, L-I-E-D, and then the lie detector shows, boom, it was the ace of hearts. They did lie, just to confirm it. So there's that Jim Steinmeier effect where you have to control it to the 3rd position. It's self-working if you use your breather card, okay? Another one, the Aldo Colombini trick that I did, that the question was about. I put 7 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 cards below my breather. So now, any card can be selected. It's the 6 of hearts. It got returned to the pack. I put the 7 cards and the breather right on top. So now it's very simple. Just cut to the reverse breather, the crimp card. It's automatic. And now their selection, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is in the 8th position. Okay? What else can we do with it? Let's try another idea. Let's say we want to control it to the 18th position, okay? So if I wanted it at 18, I got the breather on bottom. I'm going to put 17 cards below the breather. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I put 17 cards below the breather card, okay? Give them the deck. They start dealing down. Have them stop wherever they want. Let's say they stop right here. Take a look at your card and remember it's the ace of diamonds. Drop the deck on top. Excellent. So now, when you get the deck back, if you just cut to the breather, that ace of diamonds is now 18th from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. So you've controlled it to 18th from the top, and you did it in a self-working way, okay? Now, another idea. You could place a small stack of cards on top of a selection, all right? So let's say we're going to get our breather to the bottom. Let's say we do a stack where we have a 10, an indifferent card, followed by an 8 with an indifferent card, followed by a 6 with an indifferent card, and then we'll take a 4, it could be any 4 with an indifferent card, followed by a 2 and an indifferent card. So here's a 10 card stack. It's 10 indifferent, 8 indifferent, 6, all the way down to 2 indifferent. And then we're going to put 7 cards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 indifferent cards on top of the 10. So we have a 17 card stack, right? We're going to put that stack, put the breather on the bottom, okay? Put this little stack on top the breather, okay? So you have a 17 card stack on the bottom under the breather card, all right? You're going to have a card selected. In this case, it's the King of Hearts. Cut over about a third of the cards, have the king returned, and then you're going to drop your stack on top of it, okay? So now when you cut to the breather card, it automatically places those 17 cards on top of your king, the King of Hearts that they just selected. So there's the King of Hearts, and there's 17 cards on top of it. All right, now, you can do, so what you've done here is you've set yourself up in a position to do that old Di Vernon trick, the countdown stop, right? So if I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, at the 8th position, I have that first 10. Then there's an indifferent card followed by an 8, indifferent card followed by a 6. What you're going to do is you're going to get them to stop in that section, in that stack of cards between the 10 and the 2. And you know it starts in the 8th position. So what I do, I deal 3 cards face up, and I say I'm going to deal cards face up just like this, 1 card at a time. So I deal 5 cards on the table, and then I say, whenever you want, just say stop. Okay, so now I know I have 2 indifferent cards followed by the stop that they need to say stop in, right? So now I can say, whenever you want, just say stop. And at some point, if they stop you here, they've stopped you on a 10, and you'll use that. But anywhere, it doesn't matter. They say stop. If they say stop right there on the 8, you say, oh, it's an 8. So we're going to count down to the 8th card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is 8. What was the name of your card? And then boom, it's a hit. You got their card, the King of Hearts. And they can say stop anywhere they want. If they say stop on the 10, count down 10. Now, if they say stop somewhere in between your even cards, like let's say they say stop here on a 3. Well, you know your even card's the next one, it's a 6. So you just say right there, okay, so you stop me on a 6. That tells me count down 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is number 6. What was your card? King of Hearts, and it's a hit, okay? So it's kind of like the psychological stop force, but it's way easier because you have, you know, a 10 card leeway that they can say stop in, all right? So that's another idea. You're controlling a stock of cards on top of the selection, all because of your utility device, the reverse breather card, okay? Let's look at another one. Let's do this one. Let's say you take the breather card and you shuffle it on top, and then you put, we're going to put 18 cards on top of the breather. Okay, so I'm going to run 9 and 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I put 18 cards on top of the breather. So now if I cut, I'm going to cut 19 cards because the breather's going to come with it. So now I can have any card selected from below my breather card. And if I have it replaced here, it's going to be in the 20th position. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to push over a chunk of cards and say, take any card. Let's say they take the 2 of Hearts. I now cut at my reverse breather and say, return your card to the pack. The 2 of Hearts goes in. I drop those 19 cards on top of it. So their selection is now in the 20th position. I immediately go into a jog shuffle. So I'm going to take a chunk of cards, more than 20, in jog and shuffle off. I go into the jog shuffle and I say, name a number between 10 and 20. So now I need to pick up at my in jog here and I hold a break. Harry Lorraine calls this a truck driver break. I'm going to now start shuffling as I say, give me a number between 10 and 20. As soon as I hear the number, I'm going to drop all the cards off above the break on top. So I say, give me a number between 10 and 20. Let's say they say 17. As soon as I hear 17, I drop everything above the break down and I run 3. 1, 2, 3, and drop on top. So that moves their card from 20th to 17. So now I can say, if I could cut off exactly 16 cards, it would make that the 17th card, right? And the whole point is that the 17th card will be your card. Let's just check. And then you can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. What was the name of your card? They'll say the 2 of Hearts, and you have a hit. Okay? That's a really strong impromptu card trick that you've just done with a jog shuffle and a reverse breather. Okay, very, very simple. And it looks very similar to Harry Lorraine's numero uno. In fact, that's the way I do his trick. His is a lot different than that, but it's the same concept. He just does it differently. This is how I do it because now it can be any number between 10 and 20. I do that jog shuffle and I say, okay, just name a number between 10 and 20, and it doesn't matter what it is. If they say 12, I know I'm going to run 8 cards because it was at 20. I just throw off and I run 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then I cut to the breather. And so I say, if I could cut exactly 11, and it's going to be at the 12th position. Okay? It's beautiful. Reverse breather card. What else can we do with it? Let's look at, we did countdown stop. We controlled it to any position we want. We can control it with the straddle Pharaoh. Okay, so let's say you want to get a card to the 12th position from the top of the deck because you want to do a spelling effect. And as we know as magicians, a card in the 12th position, you can spell to any card in the deck if it's at position 12. Okay, so the way you do that, you got the 9 of clubs on the bottom. You're going to put 6 cards, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 cards below the breather. Have them select any card. In this case, it's the Jack of Spades. You're going to kick cut a third. Jack of Spades gets put back in the pack. And now you're placing 6 cards on top of the Jack of Spades. So now you cut to your breather. The breather's on the bottom. There's 6 cards followed by the Jack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And there's the Jack of Spades. If I now go into a straddle Pharaoh, the straddle Pharaoh is going to position the card to 13th. But if you peel one before you cascade, it will be at 12. Okay, so as long as I'm going to pick up about a third of the cards. I know theirs is at position 7. I'm going to start the Pharaoh where I'm just going to shove the cards into the bigger block from my left hand. So they're just getting shoved in. Now it has to be perfect in there. I now pull the cards out. Okay, if I were to now cascade this straddle Pharaoh, the selection, the Jack of Spades, is going to be at 13. Okay, but if I peel one card as I bring it up and cascade, it's going to position it to 12. So now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. There's the Jack of Spades. So I've put it in the position to be spelled to. The straddle Pharaoh, mathematically, is the same as an out Pharaoh. So if you double its position and subtract 1, that's where it's going to end up in the pack. If you're doing an in Pharaoh, what you do there is you just double the position. So if the Jack of Spades was at 7 and I gave this a perfect in Pharaoh, it would go to 14. If I were to give it a perfect out Pharaoh, it would go to 13. If I give it a straddle Pharaoh, it's going to go to 13. If I peel one card, though, before I cascade, it will position it to 12. Okay? So now from 12, you can spell any card. What's the name of your card? Jack of Spades, J-A-C-K-O-F-S-P-A-D-E-S. And you get the Jack of Spades. Okay, any card can be spelled to from the 12th position. Let's say it's the 10 of diamonds. Okay, if it's the 10 of diamonds, you know diamond spells with 8, 10 spells with 3, so you're just going to take the next card. T-E-N-D-I-A-M-O-N-D-S. That's 11 cards. This is at 12, and you say, I've got the 10 of diamonds. Okay? If you have a short spelling card like a 10 of clubs, ace of clubs, 6 of clubs, those only spell with 10 letters, so you have to spell the first, and then you drop the S. So if this was the 10 of clubs, I would say, the 10 of clubs, the, T-H-E, 10, T-E-N, of, O-F, and what suit did you say? Club, C-L-U-B, and then you'd get the 10 of clubs, okay? I hope you get the idea, but you can spell to every card in the deck, and sometimes you have to take out the of. If it's like the 7 of diamonds, you would spell 7, which is 5 letters, and then you would spell diamond and drop the S, which is 7 letters, and that gets you right to the 12th card. Okay, I hope you get the idea, but you could do it like that. You can control a card with the Pharaoh first, followed by the breather. So let's say I want to get a card to 17 in a sneaky way. I call this breather 17. I put the breather on the bottom, and I get 17 cards below it. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. 17 cards go below the breather, okay? Now, if I put 17 cards on the table, so I would do it this way, 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 16, 17, and I'd hold a break. I got a break above 17. I would say, I'm going to drop cards to the table. You can have any card on the table or any card in my hand. What would you like? So I put 17 on the table. I've got 17 on the bottom below my breather card. Now, if they take a card from my hand, that's fine. They're going to look at it, remember it. It's going to go back on top of the deck, and I'm going to shuffle these 17 cards. I'm going to Hindu shuffle these cards right on top. Okay? Now from here, before I move on, let's say, what happens if they take a card from the table? I do it this way. So there's the 5 of spades. I got 17 cards on the table. If I say take any card off the table or in my hands, if they go for a card on the table, that's fine. They're going to look at the card and remember it. I'm going to say, and you could have had any card off my hand, any card on the table. It's completely up to you. It's your choice. And I just add a card. to it, and nobody's going to think anything of it. And then now it's the 7 of diamonds. I take these 17 cards and I shuffle them on top. And now I'm going to go into a perfect out Pharaoh. So for the perfect out Pharaoh, you're going to have to cut right at 26 and 26, okay? And you're going to, out Pharaoh means the top card goes into the first position. It stays at position 1. So I'm going to give it a perfect out here. Card 1 stays at position 1. Perfect out Pharaoh, and then I'm going to cut to the reverse breather. Their card is now at 17. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 17th card, I think it was the 7 of diamonds. There it is. The 7 of diamonds at position 17. Okay? Another thing you can do with it is, what's nice about it is you can always locate it, right? So if I just look at the edges of the deck, if you take a look, you can see a line going through the middle of the deck. So because I see that line, I know where the breather's at, right? So I could turn it into like a variation of any card at any number. Like I can give the spectator the deck and say, go ahead and shuffle the cards. So now the spectator is going to shuffle the cards however they want. They can do riffle shuffles, overhand shuffles. They can even do a table wash. Doesn't matter. They can wash the cards. They're going to mix up the deck however they want. It doesn't matter to me because I'm going to force my reverse breather. And I'm going to be able to locate it very easily because I can see it from the side of the deck, right? Because it has that line in it. Right, so we're going to take this deck back from the spectator that they've shuffled. Okay, and all you're going to do is you're going to look at the side of the deck and you're going to estimate either how many cards is it from the top, how many cards is it from the bottom, or how many cards do you think it might be from the middle? Okay, so now you have to be able to do this very, very quickly. So I'm going to look at the cards right away, and as I look there, I'm going to say the number 21. I'm going to say, so I'm going to pick a number, let's say 21. Now we're going to have you select a card. Okay, now I don't want you to just name any card, because most people will say the Queen of Hearts or the Ace of Spades. So we're going to make it a random choice, okay? Now you would equivocate to the 9 of clubs, okay? So I would say if I took out half the cards, which half did I take out? The reds or the blacks? And they're going to say, if they say the reds, you say, fine, I've taken out the reds. That leaves us with just the blacks. So we have clubs and spades. You're going to equivocate to that. And I taught that in a video earlier, a couple days ago, or maybe it was earlier today, where they say clubs, spades, they go back and forth in their heads, stop. So equivocate to that. If you want to know how to equivocate to a card, refer back to that video. I did it in, I can't think of the name of the video off the top of my head, but everybody watching this probably knows how to equivocate to it. And now we're going to count down. So they're going to get to the 9 of clubs. Okay, and we're going to count down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Remember, my number was 21. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 21, you're in your imagination, you said the 9 of clubs, and then boom, there it is, the 9 of clubs at the 21st position, and you can show that all the cards are different. And all you're doing is just estimating how far down in the pack it is. It's really not that hard to do. Practice it for a little while, and you can see that it can be done. And you can force that 9 however you want. Okay? So that is the beauty of working with a reverse breather card. It is Card Magic's greatest utility device. You can use it in so many different ways. So there. I hope you guys liked that video. A lot of information there. Till next time, guys. Take care.